Monkey Man isn't any good. Is it worth watching? This is a spoiler-free review, my friends, and at the end, I'll give you my score out of 10, so let's do this.
More!
No, not so loud. They may hear you.
Welcome back to Poprageous. I'm Danny Alex. Monkey Man stars Dev Patel, who also co-wrote and directed this John Wick-esque style movie. It was a project Netflix committed itself to releasing, but from out of nowhere, they ended up abandoning Dev Patel, leaving him in complete shock and near financial ruin. Enter Jordan Peele, who watched it and gave Dev Patel a call. He loved it. Jordan Peele then spoke to Universal, who ended up buying it for $10 million and has now released it nationwide. It was a great call on Jordan Peele's part because the movie did $12.5 million on its opening weekend. Yes.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
Monkey Man is a movie set in India, but was actually filmed in Indonesia, which means low production costs. Smart. Right from the opening scene, this movie knows how it wants to establish its main character, whose name is Kid. Yes, K-I-D, not the best name. And it does so extremely well, drawing you in by giving you a few morsels to chew on. We're given bits and pieces that creates mystery and intrigue in how the movie sets up the main character and his motivations, making you think about what this story is about and how it's all going to unfold. The opening few scenes lure you into the story by teasing you with enough of a setup that gets the audience invested into the plight of the main character.
You'd better make us root for the protagonist.
I have to give a tip of the hat to the 3 writers who created a protagonist that was beautifully written with an emotional backstory that gives a human touch to this entire story. We're strategically giving clues as to what happened to him and his mother when he was a young child. There's a number of layers to this screenplay, and it skillfully allows the story to unfold without using extended bouts of exhausting exposition. I'm sure you know what I mean, and if you watch this movie, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This is a movie that shows us, which is what a film is supposed to do as opposed to telling us. Dev Patel trusts the audience, giving just enough plot points to make us wonder about what it all means and how it's all going to come together by the very end. I'm actually a little shocked that Netflix decided to abandon this movie because it's one of those rare movies that is extremely well executed in almost every aspect.
Stupidest.
The music score is fantastic and added to the emotional ride that this movie takes you on. It adds to the tone of each scene, giving a distinct flavor and feel as the story elements unfold, leading us to the final climactic scene in the 3rd act. We're never told the whole story, but are given clues, which is what a film should do. 90% of today's screenplays place no trust in its audience to be able to figure out a story. Instead, most movies give you the complete story through long-winded speeches by the characters, boring exposition that creates a story void of any mystery and suspense. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Let me explain this to you one more time.
As an audience, we want to be mired in the mystery of a great story and be given just enough clues to keep us fully engaged with the main character as the story unfolds. It's like the horse, cart, and stick idea. The audience will follow if they are given a reason to be interested in what's going on in the movie. This is what Monkey Man does so well, but it also gives us more than just a great story. Dev Patel does a fantastic job portraying a character with a wide emotional range and performs his fight scenes convincingly. I was really quite impressed. Actually, the entire cast performed their parts with conviction, giving believable performances that added to the layers of this revenge-based saga.
I'm impressed.
It gives us a satisfying payoff, as well as a protagonist who doesn't succeed at everything he does. I mean, he gets his ass kicked a couple of times. He fails, giving the movie realism. He has to find a way to come back and extract his revenge for an emotional wound that's tearing at him from the inside. Dev Patel is able to convey a kind of tortured soul whose childhood events have given him a believable motivation that he's now seeking justice for. Actually, screw the justice crap. He just wants full-on revenge, baby.
I like revenging.
I also love the cinematography as they use various filming styles that really brings out the fight scenes in a way that creates interest and lots of visually stimulating action. It's a style that gives the audience a feeling of being close into the fight sequences, and you never lose any of the choreography because of any messy or overly shaky takes. It's clean and fluid and very well edited as well. I have to give kudos to the lighting, sets, and costume teams as well. I mean, there is very little to complain about in this movie, both in content and production value. This is a movie that's technically well put together, and the one thing that I will go back to again, being a screenwriter myself, is the well thought out story that utilizes multiple plot points that are all distinct and easily find their own place within the story. Nothing feels forced. The fight scenes have the right amount of sensationalized action and do not go on past the point of fight fatigue. Something I wish the John Wick people would be a little bit more cognizant of.
How good's your laundry?
I'm sorry to say that no one's that good.
I thought not.
The emotional backstory of the main character, Kid, intertwines itself throughout the entire movie that ends in a payoff that feels good and appropriate. The music track in the final scene enhances the emotional payoff that brings the story of his mother full circle and lands a perfect ending that feels satisfying without trying to reach for an emotional response from the audience. It feels natural and very well thought out. Trying to find some real negatives about this movie is a bit of a challenge. Perhaps Dev Patel could have come up with a better name for the main character other than Kid. Just an idea, buddy. The one obvious one would be is that if you don't like fight-laden movies with revenge-style story premise, basically if you like Barbie, this is not the movie for you. And as with all movies, there are some things that are way over the top, but hey, that's what any good movie should do and will do. There was one character whose motivation seemed to turn on a dime. His name was Alfonso, and at first he was a character that was hard and brash and in cahoots with the bad guys. But during a fight scene, he seemed to change sides without a convincing explanation. It's a relatively small issue with a movie that does an excellent job telling a well-rounded story about a character we find easy to like. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving Monkey Man a score of 8.5. It's one of those movies that I will happily watch a second time, and maybe even a third. Well done, Mr. Dev Patel, and congratulations. Great movie. Give me your opinion in the comments below. Tell me if I'm full of it, or if I nailed this movie right. If you like what you heard, I thank you for watching, and subscribe to Poprageous if you want to hear more, and smash the like button. It helps the channel a lot, and I will see you in our next video.